Many companies have had a rough time adjusting as all their employees move to working remotely. That's not the case for GitLab, one of the world's top enterprise software startups. It has no offices. It's been remote since its start in 2014. So when the pandemic appeared, GitLab was prepared. Employees already had adequate spaces at home where they could work. Like many other businesses, GitLab relies on virtual communication tools such as Slack and Zoom. Employees just use these tools in a very specific way. They follow policies on picking the correct emojis to react to chat messages and allocating a certain number of minutes to wrap up video calls. Its website regularly posts and updates detailed instructions about how to onboard new employees, and a buddy system keeps new hires from getting overwhelmed. Many of the company's activities are logged in GitLab's own open-source software, which companies can use to manage their source code. In-person gatherings are rare. We'd get together once in a while with people living close by, and about once every 9 to 10 months with the whole company, said Job van der Voort, a former product vice president at GitLab, in an email interview. Those moments were great to get to know other sides of people, but admittedly we already worked on that a lot through more casual Zoom calls, for example. Even though some employees have been taking care of their children on top of their existing responsibilities, productivity has shot up since COVID hit, GitLab co-founder and CEO Sid Sijbrandij told CNBC in an interview on Monday. After interviewing people, it seems they're bored, he said. There's not much else to do, so people tend to work more to counteract that. And this isn't some small group. GitLab has over 1,300 employees, having raised $436 million from Goldman Sachs and other investors. Sijbrandij wants to make sure employees stay together and don't feel overly isolated. There are new daily gratitude and mental health channels on Slack, and soon there will be a day when family members will be able to join internal Zoom calls. With kids at home, the kids are super curious, he said. One of GitLab's 6 core values is transparency. GitLab's organizational chart is public. Its infrastructure and marketing proposals are public. And employees are constantly consulting and updating a publicly accessible handbook for all manner of the company's operations. There's a history of past versions of documents that reveal who said what. The idea is to make things that anyone inside GitLab can review at their convenience. That makes it less important to attend every video call, for instance. Van der Voort, whose startup simplifies the process of hiring employees in many countries, liked the strategy of having everything be open by default while he was at GitLab. He thinks it's a requirement for a totally remote companies.